I want to welcome everybody to the video today and thank y'all so much for clicking on it, and I hope you get lots of ideas and inspiration to make and do some DIY projects for your home. Make sure to follow me on all the social medias. Make sure if you're not subscribed to my channel to hit that subscribe button. I'd love to have you as part of my family. One of my favorite decor pieces to look up on at the thrift store is pictures. Now, I love a picture just any way you can find them. This one right here, I looked it up, and it was a vintage aluminum one, and it was $3.99. So I absolutely grabbed it up. I gave it a good cleaning because it had some kind of greasy residue all over it, but I cleaned it up and got it, really clean. And now I'm just I don't want to do anything to the original state. I want to leave it just like it is and just really highlight that aluminum. An easy way to do that is to just apply a transfer. Transfers are so easy to apply, but they add so much detail. Just to add a little spring goodness to this, I'm just going to add this beautiful transfer right here. You get 3 sheets of these. These are linked in my Amazon store, and I have already ordered these twice. I love these right here so much, and they've got some beautiful pink florals that are beautiful for spring and summertime. So I just made a loop bow. I put it on the picture, added some beautiful florals, and now this is ready to set out for spring and summer. Here's some more pictures that I scored. And I got these at Dollar General. And a lot of times at the end of the season, Dollar General will have a 75% off clearance sale. And I got all 3 of these pieces. So they were originally $10, 75% off. I think that will make them $2.50. So I grabbed up these 3. I removed all the Christmas florals out of them. And now I'm going to show you how we can make some really pretty spring and summertime decor out of these. And actually the way I do these can probably be left out all year long. I'm going to add some transfers to these. I'm just taking random transfers that I have. I always have transfer pieces left over, and I always like to use them up whenever I can. Now this one right here was a beautiful mauve pink. I got this one last year, but I'm going to apply it to the front of this picture. And this right here goes on really well on this metal. Now this right here, the best way to apply these transfers on these type items is just to cut away as much of the paper around the transfer as you can. That way it gives you a good shape and you can center it and get it in the area that you want it. Now we've got some great pieces now that we can enjoy during the spring and the summertime. Another inexpensive styling tip for your home is some pretty florals. Now these right here are some artificial ones. I think these come from Hobby Lobby, but you can get baby's breath a lot of times at the grocery store or Walmart. I found these at Walmart. They always have like a little floral section, and these were $4.97 a bouquet. I got some pink ones that's got a little sprig of purple in there, and then I've got the all white. These are live, so you can keep these in water and keep these alive, and I'm sure they'll last for a while. And then once they, start to wilt or they're not good in the water anymore, you can always take them out, let them dry, and use them dried. So just a great little home decor find that I found at Walmart that I wanted to pass along to y'all. I'm just taking each one, I kind of cut them down to size, and I put some in each one of the little vases that I just upcycled. And I think this makes a beautiful touch for spring and summer, and it was so inexpensive to find these really pretty natural flowers. Now I found this piece at Goodwill, and as you can see, it was $3.99, and I think this is probably like a candle holder. The gold is really pretty, but I'm just going to go over it using some white linen chalk paint. I'm going to give it a couple of coats. Now I'm not going to, my feelings are not going to be hurt if some of that little gold kind of comes through, because I want it to have more of a distressed look. I did not distress this in any way, but like I say, in some areas I kind of let that peep through just to give it more of a worn look. This was such an easy upcycle, and now this is a great piece that I can leave out all year long and style it with so many things. Now I'm going to take this mirror, and this mirror was purchased from a yard sale last spring, and I paid $3 for it, but I love the ornate detail of it. But I'm going to take a napkin. Napkins are great pieces. They're inexpensive to decoupage, and you get several graphics on just one napkin. On this particular napkin, there was 2 different graphics of rabbits, but you actually got 4. So just a great project piece that is so inexpensive. I took the mirror and I just applied a couple coats of white paint. That way I've got a good background, and that way nothing will show through my napkin, and my napkin will really pop. I'm going to use this little bunny right here because I think they will fit the best in the frame. And I'm just putting the frame on it and just kind of placing the graphic in there and trying to get both those little bunnies in there the best way that I could. And I just went around and scored around the frame and with my fingernails, and then I'm just going to go around and cut around some of the excess napkin using my scissors. Now I'm just making sure I've got them placed in there really good. Now I'm going to remove the frame, and now I'm going to take some DIY Liquid Patina, but you can also use Mod Podge. I'm going to use a good coat and go and do this on each side. Now when you're using napkins, to me it's easier if you don't get the top of your napkin wet at first, because that way it won't bleed and it won't tear. But always be real careful when you're using napkins, because they are very lightweight and they're very fragile. And then I just went over it and I rolled it over really good with my brayer just to work out any excess of the decoupage medium and also any wrinkles or bubbles. Once I got all that done, I'm just going to go over the top of it now, seal it really well using my DIY Liquid Patina. Once it gets dry, I'm just going to go around now with my scissors. I'm going to go around and remove some of that excess paper. It doesn't matter if it is perfect around the edges on this, because all we're going to do is we're going to put it back in the frame. And this mirror did not go back into the frame the way it came out. So I think it was hot glued in to begin with, and I think there was glue residue left. But I did get it in, and I just went in, secured it in using some duct tape. I just went around all the edges, and then I trimmed off in the corners so it wouldn't show through on the front. I got this really neat galvanized metal bag, and it is $2.99. And when I purchased this, I thought this would make a great piece for spring and summer because I could just envision some really pretty florals in it. Now I'm going to take some beautiful decoupage paper I got. It's got lace on both edges, and I thought it would be perfect to put on the front of this little metal bag. Now I'm just lining it up to where I've got the same amount of lace on each side, and then I'm just going to fold the lace edge over on each side. This decoupage paper will not go all the way around, but it will cover up the area that you will be able to see. Now, using my DIY Liquid Patina again, I'm going to apply the decoupage paper to the front of this little metal bag, get it secured down really well, and then I'm going to work out any wrinkles or bubbles. I love this paper right here. It looks very dainty and very vintage looking. So this is a great piece. I'm rolling over it with my brayer. This right here is one of my all-time favorite project tools to use. So if you don't have one, I highly recommend investing in a brayer. I use mine just about every day. But now I'm just working on the corners and the sides, and I just do the same thing. I just work those sides down, apply them really good, and make sure I've got them glued down really good with that decoupage medium. I just work it down with my fingers, and then I'm going to go around the bottom. There's a little bit of excess paper, and you really don't even have to go around the bottom. You could just glue it down, but I'm going over the top. I'm going to seal it up really good, just using a layer of the DIY Liquid Patina, let it dry, and now I'm just using a piece of sandpaper, and I'll remove that excess paper that's left on the bottom. And like I say, if you don't want to remove it, just use some decoupage medium down there and fold it under and let it dry, and you'll never know it. So I'm just working that around, smoothing it out. Now I think this is going to be so pretty. And since this is metal, you could also, put magnets and stuff on this. You could put old vintage pictures on it using magnets, so many things. Now, I love to get these fabric rolls at Walmart. They are in the fabric section, and you get several yards of fabric in a roll. This one right here, I love the pinks, and I thought this would be a great piece for me to use during spring and summertime, and it was $8, but that was a lot of fabric. So I just ripped a strip, and now I'm going to make a little 3-loop bow, and this is so easy to do. You just want to make your loops the size of your project, and then just, cut away any excess ribbon you have. Just get another strip, tie it around, and I always tie mine in the front. To me, I feel like it just makes the bow just come together even more. So I'm going to tie it up like that. So I'm showing you this way. If you want to go on and pre-tie it and then attach it to your project, you can do it this way, and then I just fluffed it out. But here's another way. If you've got something like this, like I have, that's got a handle, I'm going to put the tie around the handle, and then I'm going to take my little loops, and then I'm just going to put them on that tie it in a knot, and that way you've got it tied on to your project piece. So just a couple of ways of how you can attach bows. Now I've got this beautiful bow on it. I'm just going to trim off my tails, and now this is a beautiful piece that we can set out for spring and summer, and I'm going to style it with some dried hydrangeas that I did last year. When it comes to cute little stuffed animals, the little kid will always be in me because I cannot pass up a cute little stuffed animal, and especially bunnies. So I actually collect these. Anytime I see these out, I pick them up. I scored this one. She is called Sarah, and I kind of went out and kind of priced her because I only paid $4.99 for her. But her prices varied. I saw some for $6, and I saw some all the way up to $60. But anyway, I think she is absolutely so pretty, and I love the colors of her little outfit, and I think she matched perfect with a little metal bag that I made and that vintage decoupage paper. So I'm going to show you how you can style a little inexpensive little stuffed bunny that I got at the thrift store for less than $5, and how beautiful she really adds a little bit more detail to my spring and summer vignettes. Here's another seasonal Dollar General piece that I picked up on clearance, and this was $3. So make sure to check your Dollar General, especially at the end of the season, because you can get some really good little project pieces. I'm just going to go over this plaque part of it with some white chalk paint until I get it covered, and I used a couple of layers. Now I'm going to take another piece, this beautiful decoupage paper, and I'm going to leave a link below. But if y'all want some beautiful decoupage paper, this is going to be the website for you. I absolutely love this website, and this is where I get a lot of my papers. So I'm going to apply this one, and again, I always apply my decoupage paper in sections. I usually will do at the top and the bottoms or the sides, and just work in sections. Once I got it on and it got dried really good, I'm just going around now, removing some of the excess paper using a piece of sandpaper. Now I'm going to show y'all this beautiful bunny mold, and I'll make sure to have it linked down below. I actually featured this in my last week's video, but I love to use fast cast, and this is just equal parts of bottles A and B. You just mix them together and you stir them, and then you just pour them into your molds. But this right here, you just want to pour it in. Make sure to try not to over pour. Make sure, especially if you've got a mold that's got little skinny details, you may want to take some kind of little tool and kind of work it up into those areas. And if you mix up too much of your fast cast, just make sure to have some other molds on hand and just keep pouring and make up some for future projects. Once you get your molds filled, you just want to let them set up and dry. The drying time, it varies, usually around about 10 minutes, but you know when it turns solid white that it is ready to take out of the mold. Now look, now we got some beautiful little rabbits, and now this one, I can use it on another project, and he's already made when I get ready for him. But I'm going to take the other little rabbit that I got, and I'm going to apply it to the plaque I just made, and I think this is going to make such a pretty little spring decor piece. I'm just going to apply him using some hot glue, but you can also use wood glue if you want a better adhesion. And also, I think I went over him with some white chalk paint. And so, but you can leave him his original color, or you can paint him any color that you want. Now, this little piece would not be ready unless we made some kind of little shabby, little messy bow. Little messy bows are so easy to make, and it's a great way to use up your scrap lace and fabrics. Just take some of your colors that you want to put on your project and just lay them in an X, kind of pile them up and get it the desired fullness that you want, and then just take a strip and tie it really good in the middle. Now when you tie it in the middle, you want to tie it really tight and tie it in a knot. That's what's really going to make it, come together. Then I always take each end, I pull it up in my hands really good, and I give it a little haircut. And you just want to trim it down to the size of your project, and just keep trimming it down until you get it the size that you desire. Once you do, just take a little dab of hot glue and stick it on, and that's all you got to do. Now, I think this little bunny rabbit right here looks so cute, and we took him from the Christmas season now to the spring season. Now, I found this wooden box at Goodwill, and it was $2.99. It has cards on one side of it, and somebody had already painted it and distressed it, but it had like some marks all over it. So I'm going to give it a fresh coat of paint. We're just going to need to freshen it up. So I just go around the whole box. I go on the front, the back, the sides, and I even do the inside, which the inside wasn't, that big of a deal because you probably won't see it because I'll probably always have something in it, but it didn't take a lot of time, and I just went on and did the inside too. Now I'm taking this stencil. This will be linked to my Amazon store. It is one of my favorite stencils to use for Easter and springtime. But this just says, little Peter Cottontail and Company, and I'm only using part of it. The parts that I don't use, I'm just taping it down with some painter's tape, and that way, I won't stencil in those areas. I took it outside with my electric sander. I went back over the edges around the box, distressed it really well, and over the stencil, just to give it a more worn and rustic look. Okay, y'all, that is going to wrap up the video for today. I hope y'all got some good spring and summer inspiration, because I know this time of the year it's still winter time and it's still a little bit too early to start dragging out the spring decor and decorating yet. But the thing is, it never hurts. It gives us something to look forward to, and we can go on and plan ahead and be making some of these decor pieces so they'll be ready when spring does get here. I love y'all, and I'll plan to see y'all in my next video. Bye, y'all.